Running an Airbnb business can be really hard. Trying to stand out in an ever more crowded marketplace is getting harder and harder. But it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can outperform 99% of the competition in your area, getting booked first by the best guests and the highest rates. But first, some harsh truths. To be blunt, if your property is shit, then I can't help you. You can't polish a turd, alright? And if you aren't guest focused and willing to treat this as a hospitality business, then just stop watching now. Still here? Well then, what's the crack? I'm Dave, and on this channel I help people level up their Airbnb business. I'm the founder of a multi-award winning property management company here in Belfast with over 75 properties, 18,000 guests a year, and over £4 million in bookings. So let's get into it. The first thing you need to do is understand the competition in your area. You need to do a really deep dive on the movers and shakers that are in your area that you're trying to compete with. Now, it doesn't have to be everyone. Only look at the best. And how do you know the best? You're gonna know. As soon as you go on, you're gonna see. They're gonna have the best listings, the highest rates, the busiest calendars, and the best reviews. These are the A players that you're coming to topple. When you're doing your research, you need to note down, what do their properties look like? What amenities do they provide? How many people can they sleep? What do their reviews say? Who's actually staying in those places? What do their photos look like? And what does their listing say? Now, when you're doing this research, all of these questions are going to be firing off ideas in your mind about how you can change your listing and your property to incorporate some of the improvements that these A players are already doing. And it really is important that you do this by getting a real deep understanding of your competitors and your area. That is the way that you're going to learn the changes that you can make to get you right to the top of that tree. So first up, let's talk about optimizing your listing. Your title should highlight the best features of your property, and your description should showcase everything that you offer. It should paint a vivid picture of the guest experience if they come and stay. So it's really important that you put yourself in the guest's shoes, and you can use ChatGPT to come up with something, or you can use someone from Upwork or Fiverr to craft a compelling description for you. And in terms of the back end, make sure every box is ticked or every box has text in it so you can really increase your property's listing score. Next up, we're talking about the importance of photos. Professional photos are the best investment you can make in your Airbnb. There's no point having an amazing property if the only way you're going to show it off is through crap photos you've taken on your phone. These photos are the advertising images that guests see when they're scrolling through search results. And photos taken on your phone are just simply not okay. Again, you need to put yourself in the guest's shoes. They're scrolling through search results of probably dozens or even hundreds of available properties for the dates that they want. You need to stop the scroll with a striking first image. And then when the guest stops on your listing and starts clicking through the other photos, they need to be amazing as well. They need to be so good that they're going to compel the guest to actually click and open your listing. Because remember, no one can book your property without first clicking on your listing and opening it. And no one's going to do that if your photos are rubbish. It can be information overload when a guest is scrolling through search results trying to find the best place to book. Photos are the easiest things that they can use subconsciously to compare properties and decide, is this property worth clicking into, or do I just scroll on by? We're visual creatures, and these photos signal to guests whether something is worth looking at further. And with poor photos, your property can be disregarded in a split second and just gone. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my funny Belfast accent and my kids' teddies, then please do hit that subscribe button. I genuinely want to build a community on this channel, and the beauty of Airbnb is that it's global. I love hearing where you're from, so please leave me a comment and let me know where you're watching this from. Okay, next up, we're talking about pricing strategies. Now, it is simply not okay to set a rate and then forget about it and just leave it. Your property is either going to be far too expensive and just no one's going to book it, or it's going to be too cheap and you're going to lose out in potential profit. As a bare minimum, you need to be offering different rates for weekend and weekday, different rates for length of stay, so offering a discount for longer stays, different rates based on how many people are staying in your place, different rates for seasonality, different rates for periods of high demand. You get the point, but it can be so difficult or basically impossible to keep up with this yourself. And that's why I always recommend using some rate pricing software like Price Labs, and it does all the heavy lifting for you. It scrapes data from the market, it knows what your competitors are charging, it knows the periods of high demand, and it adjusts your rates automatically. It's going to save you hours of time and stress that you can just get off your plate and give to this algorithm that just works. I don't know, it's like Skynet. But the point is, it's so important that your rates change daily to remain competitive in the market. All right, next up, try to make your property different to the competitors. When you've been doing your research, you'll see the ones that stand out, and it's because they are a bit different. They are literally standing out from the crowd. Now, you'll have noticed that And guess what? Guests notice that as well when they're scrolling through. Don't just decorate your property to be the same as everyone else's in the market. You'll just get lost in the scroll. Make it different, make it eye-catching, make it memorable. Remember, guests are going to probably have about 5 or 6 different tabs open when they're trying to decide on the place to book. Make your place stand out in their heads of, this one is worth doing. Because if your property is the same as everyone else's, then how do you expect to outperform them? Make it worth the highest rates. You want to have that property sitting to be the most expensive in your area and still get booked first. But for that, it has to be worth it. You have to be offering something different than the other people in your area. And there are loads of ways you can do that. You can get a place with the best view, you can get the biggest place, you can get the quirkiest place, you can offer different amenities, you can offer really elaborate welcome packs. There's so many things that you can offer to add into your property to make it highly desirable and just better than the competition. It might take a bit of work, but like the photos, it is an investment in the business. All right, next up, we're talking about reviews. The importance of reviews cannot be overstated. If someone clicks into your listing, reads the title and description and is intrigued, thinks the price is fair, and they're on the way to book, the next thing they're going to do is look at your reviews. And to put it simply, if you have bad reviews, you won't get bookings. There is nowhere to hide in this industry. If you mess up, you get caught out, and it's all public. Revenue follows reviews, so you have to work damn hard to get those sweet 5 stars every time. If your review score is high, well then so is your occupancy and so are your nightly rates. But if your review score starts dropping, then so does your occupancy and so does your nightly rates. This is not rocket science. Be a good host. Don't be a dick to your guests. Over-deliver in customer service from the moment the booking is made until checkout. Now let's talk a bit more about that. First impressions and the guest experience. Make sure your messaging is quick, prompt, professional, but friendly. Make sure your check-in process is smooth, seamless, and easy. Provide some clear but brief instructions for guests to ensure that they have a great stay when they arrive. Try to go above and beyond with the amenities in the property. Get the best mattresses. Make sure your sofa's comfortable. Make sure whenever people arrive that they're wowed and they feel like this is actually a really nice place. Stock the property with essentials. You know, if you have a dishwasher, leave dishwasher tablets. If you have a washing machine, leave washing machine powder. Toiletries, tea, coffee, all these sorts of things just add to the guest experience. Communication is key. You have to be super responsive to all your guest questions, and no matter how frustrating some of the questions are, be helpful, be warm, be friendly. Remember, it's not just the property that gets reviewed, it's you as the host as well. You all come in a tight little package. Now on this point, watch this video after to see so many things that Airbnb hosts do that guests absolutely hate. So do not do any of these things. Next up, and the best way to win at Airbnb is to just not only list your property on Airbnb. Make sure your property is on every booking site you can find. Booking.com, Vrbo, TripAdvisor, Google, Agoda, Expedia, there's loads out there. Just get your property on all of them. Don't rely on Airbnb. They don't care about you. They only care about their guests. No, you need to get maximum exposure. The internet's a big place. There's eyeballs everywhere. You need to get your property in front of as many different eyeballs as you can. You can use a channel manager that's going to sync up all this so you don't get any double bookings, or in a lot of them, you can just use an iCal to stop those double bookings. But the fact of the matter is, Airbnb is an absolutely flooded marketplace. And if you look, even on booking.com, there will be far fewer competitors out there. So a much higher chance of you getting booked through that platform than Airbnb. Next up, you need to systemize everything in the business. Start thinking of this as a business. Do not run it on an ad hoc basis where just stuff happens as it happens. Have repeatable processes that take place with every booking, with every check-in, with every check-out. This enables you to know what's happening. It frees you up to step back and work on the business instead of in it. It gives you the chance to get your head up, to look around, to see where improvements need to be made, to see where cracks are appearing and where you need to put more of your effort. There's a lot of plates to spin in this business, and if you just let it, it will take over everything. You can watch this video on the best ways to systemize your business. Next up, we want to leverage social media. So all those fancy photos you got done at the start, guess what? You can use them to share your property all over the place. And don't worry about sending people back to Airbnb. We are linked in bio. Make sure you're sending them to your own direct booking website. You can be making video content showing the best things to do in your property or the things to do in the surrounding areas. You could be posting that on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. Create a Facebook page for your property. Join any tourism groups or business groups that are in your area. Guaranteed there's going to be people looking for accommodation, and and you can comment as your property. You're going to drive people to your platforms, to your booking sites, and you're going to get direct bookings, wresting control back from Airbnb. And last up, it's having a mindset of continuous improvement. You've never completed Airbnb. There's always going to be something that you need to focus on, something that you need to tighten up, or something that you need to just drop altogether. Analyze your performance using Airbnb's analytic tools. You can keep track of the guest satisfaction, of your click-through rate, all these things that when you make changes, you should see actual return in clicks and bookings and reviews. Stay updated on the Airbnb app and on all the other different ones. Keep up to date with current trends, things that are happening, things that are in demand at the minute, things that are going out of demand. Join host communities, follow people like me, and you're going to stay at the cutting edge or the forefront of everything that's happening in this industry. Sometimes the little tips and tricks that you pick up from me and others are going to make massive differences to your business. So in conclusion, to put it simply, to outperform your competition, you have to be better than them. There's no way to cheat, but we've talked about the main things that you need to focus on that are really going to move the needle. Next up, you need to watch this video, which is showing you 16 ways to absolutely turbocharge your Airbnb business. But before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you next time.